Well, it was great to be home for family weekend. We got an opportunity to recognize our parents as well on Saturday night. But we had Evansville on Friday, and very, very happy with our execution on both sides. One of the areas that we're continuing to try to work on is our offense and the percentages that we're attacking at. And in both the first and third sets, we were able to attack well over our goal for the week, as well as well over our average. The second set we were below, but I think part of that was we had a couple early unforced errors, not a lot of attempts in that match, but we're able to, like I said, in 1 and 3, do the job that we were looking for. On the defensive side, executed the game plan well. We knew that Evansville had a couple rotations that we just could hold them in. So part of that is being able to make sure our serves are tough, but yet in those situations, which we've had a couple times this year where we've had rotations like that and have a missed serve. So I give those kids credit that did their job in the serving category. That is an area we've continued to work on as well. I thought that night was also a nice night for us because we were able to get some experience for some of our players that don't get a lot of playing time. So I think that will help us, if not this year, in years to come. So it was a good start to the weekend for us. We had Southern on Saturday. As I said last week, it was a tough 5-game loss at their place. About a month ago now, they're a team that was sitting at a tie for first place. The interesting thing is one of their top players, Meg Viggers, was hurt the night before at the Drake match. We did not know if she was going to be able to play against us. And then in warm-up, we found out that she was not going to be playing that night. Meg is a kid that sets from the back row and then attacks from the front row. So she is obviously a kid that has a lot of workload for their team. The interesting thing for us, it completely changes anything that we would do that we practiced all week. So for us, we didn't know if they were going to put in another setter and continue to run the 6-2 offense, or if they would just run a 5-1 with their setter that already is in there. They ended up running a 5-1. It completely changed our blocking scheme for sure. Defensively, we had to do a lot of different things. Offensively, they were running completely different plays. So I give our kids a lot of credit to be able to adjust very quickly. They just jumped right into the things that we were asking them to do. It was play-by-play from the bench, depending on who they had in and what they were doing. And I think that's going to really help us in the next few weeks because of some of the teams that we're playing. The first 2 matches, we were really firing both offensively and defensively. I think part of that was Southern trying to figure out, I'm sure they have not practiced without Viggers, so trying to figure out what they were going to do. They definitely figured that out. We knew they would. And came back in Game 3 with a lot of adjustments that I thought we took a little bit longer in Game 3 to make changes on their adjustments, but then in Game 4 we came back very strong and executed very well. So a good match for us. We had a really good serving weekend, and again, offensively, just very happy with the improvements. Our audible system that we do, I thought that was much improved over the last few weeks. I thought Heather did a great job of getting our attackers in really good situations. And then I talked last week about trying to add some new things to our offense. So it's nice to see us getting more and more comfortable with some of those things heading into the next few weeks. As Colin said, we have a very tough weekend ahead with Wichita State and Missouri State. They're both in a tie for first right now. At our place last time, we did beat Wichita, but I thought it was probably one of the best, if not the best match we had played all season. So we played very well. Wichita, to me, is that team that is, I think they're the best offensive team in the conference. They have every attacker is capable of doing a lot of different things. Even the win at our place, I think we had a lot of trouble with Jody Larson. She's a kid, I just look at her as having a lot of attacking flexibility, I guess is the best way to put it. She can hit anywhere on the net. She runs the best BIC I've seen out of the back row. Abby Lehman is a very high efficiency hitter for them that we had a little bit of trouble with. And then they have several kids besides those that really do a good job. So offensively, very strong. Defense, I think their biggest strength on defense is their blocking and the fact that they go in and out of a lot of different defenses, play to play. And I think that's what, with what we did with Southern this week, I'm hoping that will carry over and we'll be able to make a lot of adjustments very quickly, play by play, against Wichita, because that's what we'll need to do. If you keep going with the same offense, you're going to have a lot of trouble because they'll have specific game plans for each rotation that we have. So we're looking forward to that challenge. They also will have a great crowd. They're one of the best in the country in terms of fan support. So we'll get an opportunity to play in front of a really good volleyball atmosphere as well. And then we turn around and play Missouri State, who, if you remember, we lost a tough 5-setter. We had lost the first 2 games, won the next 2 games, and lost 15-13 in the 5th. They, in my mind, are just steady on both sides. They have one of the best outside attackers in the country, not just our conference, Lily Johnson, who carries a lot of load as far as offense goes, but after that, they're so balanced that you cannot put all your eggs on Lily. You have to find a way to slow her down and be able to still defend the other attackers as well. And defensively, I look at them a little bit like us in terms of just putting up a really good block and then having gritty defenders behind that block. They're just very steady, very gritty, so a good team on all sides. As Colin said, they've won 8 in a row right now. They're playing very well. They just beat Wichita at Wichita State, so that's a very big win for them. So looking forward to a couple of really good matches. Like I said, they're both tied for first, and we're right behind. They're 8-2, we're 8-3. Southern's 8-3, so there's a lot of us just right there. So a good weekend to go out there and battle. So looking forward to it. Any questions?
Knowing that Chris Lamb certainly isn't afraid to make any changes when the opportunity presents, how confident are you that the team can be ready to make a lot of adjustments in that match, particularly coming off what you had to do against Southern?
Yeah, I'm very confident in that. I think, it's just as coaches, us trying to guess the different changes that are going to happen so we can prepare our kids for that during the week. It's been good because we've watched a lot of video of Wichita just over the last few weeks because of the opponents that we've been playing, and it's just been interesting to see just the different opponents, the strategies they have against the different opponents. So we've seen a lot of different things that they do. It's just being able to practice each one of them a little bit to be able to, so it's not just knowing what they're doing, it's being able to figure out what we're going to do against that. So that's the kinds of things we'll practice later in the week, but I feel confident that they're things that our kids can definitely do.
Last weekend's wins also guarantee that this will be the 32nd consecutive winning season for the program and 38th straight at 500 or better. Just talk about how this group has done, carrying on the success and the legacy of this program.
I think, it's interesting because each year you have a different group of people that approach things differently. And all of our kids come here excited about being a part of our program and being a part of the tradition. And then when they get here, they realize there's a little bit of pressure that goes along with that. And I think our seniors have just done a really good job of just focusing in. We talk about every team is different. We have a lot of success over the years, a lot of great tradition, but every single team has been different in their own way. And so just trying to find their own identity this year has been a big part of it. Obviously, they want to contribute to that tradition and they want to go out and win and do things that maybe teams have never done before. That's always in the back of a lot of our kids' minds as well. But I give a lot of credit to our seniors for finding a way to balance that, fighting for the tradition and then fighting for the team that we are this year.
Are there a couple of specific areas you've got to be improved to beat Missouri State from that first meeting?
I think it's still, to me, more on the offensive side of things, and I do think we're playing better offensively. I think Missouri State will bring some different challenges defensively, so it'll be interesting to see how we respond to that. So I think we've made improvements in those areas, but it'll be nice to see how we stack up against Missouri State. So I talk a lot about our offensive side, and I think it's more just because we do a lot of great things defensively, and just being able to get something out of those great touches is always the challenge. It's a challenge for all teams, but I think for us, not having maybe that one big player that you can, like a Lily Johnson, where you just kind of throw the ball up and she takes care of it. We have to do things differently than that, and we've been working hard to do that. All right, thank you.